Forget your tactics, forget your game plan. If the following you do not have under control and you do not master this, all that you know is in vain as a coach, as a mentor, as a leader. Your words. Your words are the difference between winning and losing, your athletes and players improving or not. Let's dig into it. Hi there guys, so in today's session we'll be talking about affirmation, right? Affirming your players, affirming your team, and how you can do it. So I'm going to jump straight in, guys. In today's verse, I'm going to read from Proverbs 18, verse 21, that says, "The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit." Yeah, you can go and read up on this, guys, but it's pretty straightforward. There's power in the tongue. We either speak in life or we speak in death, and those that love it will eat its fruit. If you're speaking positivity, you're going to eat positive fruit. You're going to yield positive results. If you're speaking negativity, you're going to eat negative fruit and yield negative results. It's as straightforward as it says in that scripture verse. Then I'm also going to read from Ephesians 4 and verse 19, or verse 29, sorry. And it says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen." Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may benefit those who listen. So guys, let me just share a story with you. When I was a young pro, all right, I had a coach. As I shared in the previous video, I had a young coach, or I had a coach at the time. It was my first 3 or 4 years as a pro. And this coach tried to control every aspect of my game. But furthermore, he also spoke, negativity over my play. And I'll give you an example. He would very often, tell me what he thought I was incapable of. So he would tell me, "You can only do this, you can only hit the ball, you can only play inside the box, you can only do that." Okay, there's a difference between instruction and trying to control, someone. He was trying to control me, and his words had a huge impact on my game. So much so that at times I would find myself frozen on the actual field, because of his negative words. And then I had a coach a couple of years down the line. I was about 25, and I wasn't feeling too good about having been at that club. But when this coach came in, one of his first tasks was to actually sit me down and tell me how good of a player he thinks I am, but also how good of a player he thinks I can still become, speaking life into me. Well, what happened in that season with that coach completely changed the pathway of my football career. I went from playing that season for him. After the first few games in that season, I got my first international call-up, and then the season after, I got a transfer to Europe. And I attribute that to the positive words of a coach that took him 5 minutes, guys, just sharing with me what he thought, his words, positivity, speaking life over myself. Yeah. So there's power in the power of the tongue. There's life and death in the power of the tongue. Yeah. So how can you, as a coach, mentor, or a leader in sport, how can you affirm your players? How can you use the power of the tongue to positively influence your players? I'm going to give you 3 points, guys. First point is you can positively reinforce. You can positively reinforce what and how they are playing, what their attributes are, and also if you need to have a go at them, by all means. Now, you must not get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should avoid addressing what they are not doing, and avoid addressing if there are any frustrations that you have with how they are playing or how they are not adhering to your game plan. But what I'm saying is use positive reinforcement. So if you're going to have a go at your players or at your athlete, always end with positive reinforcement. Yes, always do that, guys. It does the world of good, because you want your team or you want your athlete to go out there and be the best that they can be. And very often we allow our frustrations as coaches, mentors, leaders to overpower what we know the player needs to hear and should hear, because we are selfish in our own thoughts, and because we are frustrated, because we cannot control ourselves, have very low self-control. We very often say the wrong things when our intentions is to help them. So first point, positive reinforcement. Yeah. Then the secondly, guys, what you can do is you can simply correct the actions that they need to address, to not exaggerate the moment. Now, what I mean by that, guys, is very often, when your athlete or your player, does a wrong move or he makes an error, just correct the action when you have an opportunity to talk to them. Do not exaggerate the moment. Control yourself, control your emotions, and focus only on what action they perhaps could have done better in. But also, when they do something well, also affirm that action. Do not exaggerate the moment. What I mean by that is also do not go over and above. And non-verbal communication is just overboard. Yeah, you are human, they are human, they will make errors. Just correct the action and move on to the next. Right? So positive reinforcement and correct the action. Then thirdly and lastly, if you're going to affirm them, or if you're going to have a go with them, and if you're going to want them to improve their performance, always provide solutions. It makes no sense you having a go at your athlete or your team, or you affirming them, but you're not leaving them with practical solutions that they can take onto the field and execute themselves, not needing you for every single move, every single thought, every single action. Yeah, the best thing for an athlete and a sportsman is when they are empowered, when they completely own every step of their journey on the football field, on the actual track, in the event. And they only need you for guidance and support. But that starts with you controlling your tongue. Yeah? So, positive reinforcement, guys. Focus in the action. Yeah? Focus on the action that needs to be corrected. And then lastly, provide solutions. Lastly, affirmation. Speaking, truths, lovingly and honestly to your players is a way of being and coaching. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. Affirmation, speaking truths to your players or to your athlete must become a way of being and coaching. It should not be used only when there's a high pressure game or a high pressure event or a moment where you need to, come with an emotional pep talk. No, affirmation should become a way of being and coaching for you. Why is that? Because humans, people, we can sense when someone is being authentic, especially a coach. And I've had many experiences where I could pick up that this coach was not being authentic, even though he's saying the best of words, which mean well and sound well-intentioned. But if the averages of what he says to me over a period of a season or a week has been largely negative, then guess what? I'm filtering everything he's saying through a negative filter. So affirmation should be a way of being and coaching. Yeah. So positive reinforcement, correct the action and provide solutions. Yeah. I hope you like this video, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good day further and be the best version of yourself. Cheers.